That's true.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to Local Like a Yokel, picking and fiddling our sandbox to new heights. I'm Dan Gurin. I'm pretty white, pretty male, wearing a Drupal Asheville shirt from before COVID. Mostly brown hair, mostly gray beard. And I've been Drupaling since about 2006 or 7, right around the time when Drupal version 6 or 7 was all the rage. Didn't really land. Okay, so let's see. Here's my Drupal journey. I had a chance to help build the core publisher platform for NPR.
Yeah, okay.
You got it. Okay. So that was instrumental in pioneering building the Create Once, Publish Everywhere, or COPE strategy that pretty much everybody uses now. Worked with a couple of higher ed institutions and talked to some atypical folks about this thing they were working on called machine learning. And then in 2015, I landed my first work from home job with Civic Actions, working from home again before it was cool. Total trendsetter here. And of course moved to Asheville where all the
Cool people are.
yeah. Okay, and then in 2018 I founded Danger. That's just as a side hustle. And then in 2023 we adopted a neurodivergent workforce model and started doing business as Atypical Savant, but we still use the old branding sometimes, just to stay compliant with things. So. All right, so sustainability comes in many forms. It could be on a personal energy level, a group velocity level, or global all-inclusive. And our technology is a double-edged sword, so it makes our lives better and easier in some ways and worse and harder in others. And AI is the same way. So we have cloud language models that are great, big, and powerful, but they require, of course, massive amounts of resources, lack security controls, and not free or open in many senses of those words. And so thought we should do something about that. This is our agenda to guide us through our sesh. It's pretty packed, and it's to help you transform your local development workflow. So we'll start with the Public Yokel. That's how to expose your sandbox environments to the web without relying on public hosting. And then from there, we'll move to the full stack suite where we'll dive into some development tool chains that make things run smoothly, explore Sandbox Intelligence and local AI models that you can use directly in your workspace. And then hopefully we'll have time to touch on automation and orchestration that can maximize your productivity. We'll have Q&A at the end, but if people have questions, comments, call me out in the middle, that's fine. You can raise your hand or just start screaming. Try to get it in the mic if you can. Okay. So, this is the Public Yokel here. So, challenge that I was experiencing, and I think some other people too, is you want a secure local environment, but you want to also be able to play on the public web. So this, in the past, would mean expensive staging servers and hosting setups, and really it's slow you down. So we can look at how we can flip that around, just use your local on the web, and be fast, secure, and in control. So the way that I have done it is to use Cloudflare SSH tunnels. And I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. You do have to run a daemon on your local to do it, and you can basically generate a live demo link, or in theory, it could be even a production kind of a thing. Maybe you don't want to run like a multi-billion-dollar multinational company on that, probably, but you could do it if you're just kind of testing stuff out. And yeah, so you can get feedback loops from that. You can also test on integration. So if you're doing like, payment gateway or some webhook that you're trying to test, now you're playing on, the real internet instead of just your home network or whatever, corporate thing. So yeah, I like the Cloudflare tunnel. It's just like a nice bridge. You don't have to really open the rest of your corporate or home network at all to get it to go. And it's pretty simple. And yeah, so I think this is a good place to start here.
What about cost with SSH tunnels?
There is no cost, so you can do it on the free Cloudflare account. Hopefully they keep it that way. Hopefully they don't see this presentation and decide to charge for it.
They have been doing it for a long time now, and it's free. There are some caveats, like you do not host like images. Like if your site is like too much image and video heavy,
Mm-hmm.
then you wouldn't be able to. I mean, you will be able to use it, but then they'll figure it out that okay, you're using too much bandwidth.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I won't put a lot of videos on there then.
Yeah. Like I was trying to do my media server with it, like my jellyfish.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
Okay.
And then streaming, and I was like, no.
Did they
I
cut you
cannot
off
do
or throttle you or?
No,
something?
I realized that in general, even if you're on like Cloudflare free or pro, and then you start doing video streaming, which I got to learn as a product manager in one of the virtual event companies that I used to work for, that they do have a limit.
Okay.
So once you hit that limit, they'll stop you and then ask you to have Cloudflare stream and Cloudflare images
Right, okay.
as the product.
So it's part of the marketing sales pipeline.
Yeah.
All right, you're welcome, Cloudflare. Yeah, but if you don't want to do that, there are some other options. So there's these zero agent options, alternatives. You don't need to install that daemon software on your machine. Maybe you can't, maybe you don't want to. So this is a few different options, Pingy.io, zero installation, web debugger. Servio.net is kind of that sweet middle spot. So it can do raw SSH and TCP forwarding, and that's a good option if you're looking to do Internet of Things devices. And then localhost.run is a little more robust. So, if you're looking like for a full DevOps pipeline with automated testing, infrastructure as code, localhost.run is the way to go if you want to get crazy like that. And then there are some other tunneling tools. These are managed. So, ngrok, it's the older kind of classic version of things, and so yeah, it's you can test like OAuth debugging and high frequency APIs. There's a little newer option that's Zrock. Guess they like the rock ending on that. Yeah, and that's open source, built on top of OpenZT. And its biggest differentiator is free managed software defined networking. So if you're looking for that, there you go. And then if you want full control, over your privacy, data log certificates, and you can go the self-hosted route. So this is like on a VPS, you could run it. I think at a previous session they were talking about data sovereignty, and so kind of picking out which region you might want to host this in could play into that. And there are some open source options for that. The fast reverse proxy is a high performance Go app, and it's pretty good for tunneling behind NATs. And then Chisel is efficient and has a single executable, so that's kind of the ultimate way to have your full control over your infrastructure. All right. And so here's just the comparison matrix on a chart that's really small, and you probably can't see it, but the slides are linked on the session page. So yeah, we'll just kind of look at it. So it's, depending on what you're trying to do, there are probably better options for how you're gonna set this up. All right, and we'll get into part 2 now. Now that we have our tunneling figured out, we'll look at a few of the apps that I've been using in addition to Drupal. 20 CRM. A lot of folks kind of treat their CRM as an afterthought and use a SaaS subscription, which can be expensive and not really give you the features that you need, and they sort of, dangle the features that you want at a higher subscription rate. And so one way to get around that is you can run 20 CRM alongside Drupal. I know there is also a Drupal CRM project, so that's an option as well, but 20 is purpose built for this. And yeah, so that's a good thing to do. And then over on the marketing side, ListMonk, it's like email marketing. So you can have, all of the things that you would get in like MailChimp or any of those kinds of apps, templates for newsletters, transactional emails, and you have complete sovereignty over that infrastructure. And let's see, so you've got just in general like ecosystem, so you can have multi-container, pretty much anything that you want to run, you can do it like this. So you can just run it wherever, and especially if it's in like a Docker container, then you can push it up to your production and Kubernetes and all that stuff.
Yeah, just to add to this, I've been using Umami, which is an analytics tool, like a privacy-focused analytics tool, which the world's best website, mymukta.com, needs it. So I host a Docker container where I've installed Umami on it. And basically hosting Umami through that Docker container and exposing it using Cloudflare tunnel. So there is this n.mymukta.com, which basically is hitting that Umami JavaScript and serves it and sends all the data. So the analytics works through that.
Nice. Okay.
Trying to be very mindful of the privacy of all the visitors that come to my site.
Right. Yeah.
All 20 people.
Although if one of them is you, it's only 19.
Yeah.
All right, so I think this still works. If you want to QR this, you can sign up for our email newsletter. And I think it's going to work. It's actually running on my Linux laptop at home. So I don't know if there's been a power outage, but let me know. if it
Yeah,
doesn't work.
That's the only benefit. The negative that I've seen is
Right.
it tends to go down in case there is a power outage. Then
Right.
Your tunnel is unhealthy, and then when it comes back, it does come back though.
Yeah. So I have backup battery for my network stuff, and then my laptop presumably would keep going on its battery.
Yep.
I also have a backup generator after Hurricane Helene. I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. So,
So obviously you're doing one of those. You're the most business critical things overlay, but yes, small stuff can definitely be hosted, and you can save on hosting costs quite a lot.
yeah. And then, you can, you're basically just getting their email address. So it's like, it's not like a huge
Yeah.
amount of bandwidth. And then you could do whatever with it from there. So does it seem like it's working? It's double
Yeah.
opt-in, so even if you click the link, you won't get spammed immediately.
Expect some marketing emails tomorrow.
These are the 10 minutes.
It should send you an opt-in. Yeah, even. So sounds like the home is still there. Good. Okay, so there's this thing called Dalia, and can do some interesting things with that. That's it's AI meant to work specifically with Drupal, and so it's meant to out of the box use Claude and have that do the heavy lifting for you. Runs in the background and does a lot of automation, and it keeps your data secure, within your self-hosted local container. The way that we do it is a little bit different, and I'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, so you can do like automation testing, uses Playwright and DDev and all those good things that you probably are already familiar with or use on your Sandbox already. And yeah, so it just runs as a persistent service and is pretty cool. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I recommend it. It's kind of...
Is this something you did, or?
No, this is I think Matteo from Lullabot is his project, or he's the maintainer of it. Yeah, so a cool thing. I actually hijacked it though, so instead of sending it to Claude, I was able to switch it over to use local models using Ollama. For some things, you can use a more lightweight model because it divides up for kind of, if you use like Cursor, you might know there's like planning mode and then there's development mode. So you can use different models that are optimized for those, different kinds of tasks. It's like not the same thing. It's kind of like, I don't know, whatever. So, yeah, so basically what I did was I just copied the local model into a folder and named it like Claude 4.6 so that Dalia would think that it was hitting Claude, but it was really hitting like Gwen or something else. There's probably like a way to do that legit, but I didn't. So if anybody knows how to do that properly, then
What's
yeah.
the configuration of your GPU thing for running? Like,
Right.
It's gonna be like an MCP.
no, I'm talking about the hardware.
The hardware.
Yeah.
We will get there.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't want to talk about it when I don't have my notes.
No, because
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
absolutely useless. It feels like
Right, right.
He's tumbling into your GPU and using it.
I was wondering why it was so slow. Okay, and so here we are, right, at the Sandbox.
there you go.
Yeah. All right, here are my notes. So we've got the memory. That's probably going to be the biggest bottleneck on your local. Want to have at least 16 gigabytes. And then, that's going to be for smaller models that would be like 7 billion parameters. If you're going to be using the bigger models, then you want to up that to like 32 gigabytes. And then you want to prioritize dedicated VRAM or unified memory because system RAM can't necessarily work as well. You want to have speed, so like an Apple Silicon M series Max can handle stuff. That's what I'm using here. And then if you have a PC, you can use an NVIDIA CUDA card. That's kind of the standard. Try to avoid running models on your CPU if possible. It's just going to be slow, and I guess you can try, but and then as far as storage, you want to use an NVMe SSD, and that's just a faster drive, and you want to have some space on it, of course, because your model is going to take up some space to store it. So yeah, that'll help with the startup speeds and keep it snappy. So here's kind of like the setup that I have. You've got security and sovereignty, of course. Although I just learned at Matthew Saunders' session that apparently if you're in some regions, you don't necessarily have sovereignty, depending on the region. Yeah. So, keeping it all in the local. So that's that's one layer of security. And so I use Ollama as the backbone for it here. It's pretty low barrier to entry. There's like a UI version of it, and then there's also a command line version of it, so you can run it either way that you want with that. And like I said, I had integrated with Dalia in the past, and then you don't have the subscriptions, avoiding cloud APIs and recurring costs like that, or hitting those rate limiting types of situations that are not awesome. All right. And then there's another option called LM Studio, and it's a better UI. The Ollama UI is more just like the chat interface where you're like an end user. But the LM Studio gives you like a workbench, so you've got the Explorer tool, and you can browse through repositories of different models, tweak parameters, and then you get visual feedback on that. So Ollama is, more of just a silent service that is going to maybe run behind your IDE. And you can use both. So you can use like LM Studio to test and vet models, see what works best. And then once you've got it dialed in, load it into Ollama for more efficiency and daily development. All right, so let's move on to some of the fun stuff. So automation, Looking at your model size and hardware, there's really like trade-offs here. When I get this really going, it makes this high-pitched sound. I don't know if anybody's heard that, and it's trying to do a lot. But yeah, so finding that nice Goldilocks zone between speed and intelligence. Around 8 billion parameters is going to be, nice and fast on your standard setups. You could go up to maybe like a 70 billion parameters, get better reasoning and context, but your hardware is going to be like at the limit of what it can do. And then also looking at quantization and formats. So the format GGUF can help to just make things more efficient and keep up with the pace that you need for coding kinds of tasks.
Just to add to that, if you're using Apple silicon machine, then MLX is what you want to go with.
Okay.
Because then that they're far more optimized for the Apple hardware.
Okay.
So like I think Gemma. I think Gemma 4 MLX model has been released. I think in a quantized at 4-bit.
Okay.
And like it literally feels like an instant thing, like 90% improvement since the GGUp format.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So MLX.
MLX.
Okay.
If you're using Apple hardware, yeah, definitely.
For
that's the
Apple.
way to
Okay.
go.
I'm just repeating it for those people at home here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so keeping it fast here. You can establish memory boundaries and process utilization limits within Docker DDEV, just to make sure that your computer doesn't die from this sort of stuff. And then you can also have just manage when the services are running. So if if you're not using a massive LLM, turn it off. And that can help to keep your workspace not too hot as well. So yeah, just some of the why behind this. You get to keep your intellectual property. I know like sometimes you're using a cloud service and they're like, oh, we don't use this to train our models, and it's like, yeah, but there might be like, in the 300th page of the privacy policy or whatever, something. So this is like, seriously, you're not going to give away your secrets here. I guess, there's also just the networking thing. So you're, reducing the lag to the cloud. And so in some ways it's faster. But, and then of course the cost efficiency, if you ever like look at like just the number of subscriptions you have, it's just like,
That's so true.
So yeah, that's pretty much that. I think I finished 1 minute early. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can check out my website if you want to, or I'm usually at Danger. Also, if you want to try to find me on the internet. There is a musician called Danger, and that's not me. I mean, I do play, but I'm not. He's like cool, like electronic music or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you find the local models are like on par? Like, if you get a local model that's for a specific task, like development,
Mm-hmm.
do you find that it is comparable to using Claude?
No.
Yeah. and like,
Because they're old, they're small, right?
of worse quality? Does it take longer? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, just because, the Claude models have so many more parameters. I mean, you've got some of the richest people in the world throwing all their money at those. And so, I mean, in some ways there's no way to compete with that. But for things that are, smaller models, or if you're just if you're prioritizing these things of like security and cost and things like that, this can be the way to go. I imagine that there will be an uptick in, the hardware. I mean, you could go crazy with your hardware at home or at the office, right?
Yeah.
Have like a rack of GPUs or something crazy, if you wanted
People are doing
to.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
Yeah.
people who are actually doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not out of the question. I mean, I don't do that, right? But
Do you mix like if you have some simpler tasks, do you use like a local model, and if you have like some harder stuff,
yeah. I try to pick the model that's going to be, if
how do you start doing
yeah.
that?
Well, like if you don't need an aircraft carrier,
Yeah.
just get out the dinghy or the schooner, So.
I mean, like few months ago, I would say, or maybe more, when I started feeling nervous about, okay, AI is going to take my job and whatnot, and then I need to learn this. So I managed to get an Apple M4 Max, 48 GB RAM, and all that, and thought I will do whatnot. Like, okay, there you go. Only to realize, no, not really. I mean, I did not find the local models personally of much, like an output which is going to be worth a lot. Or again, on some serious projects, if you are trying to work, you would, because they end up being slow. Like even at that 48 GB RAM, I found it to be really slow. 128 GB RAM, you could possibly do it, but then the cost, you don't justify the cost really as much, because again, if you're getting, let's say, a $100 cloud subscription, you will spend $4,000 or $5,000 in that many months, 50 months, which is, why not?
So it evens out.
Yeah, like it evens out, right? Like you're kind of paying in advance for something which will eventually be outdated by the time. So, I mean, the result, I have a very fast machine, personal computer. That's what I have and I'm running Cloud on it. So
Yeah.
I could have done it on my previous computer. But anyway, I had to upgrade. So.
But you potentially get proprietary protection,
I mean, it doesn't matter.
right?
I mean, what is private anyway these days? I mean, that's how I see it. Isn't Google already knows everything about me more than about me?
Well, no, but if you're like a
I mean, it
community
depends on the-
college and you're trying to keep like the information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
I think-
like military.
Yeah.
Again, depends, and then they don't have budget problem anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
So,
They
and
won't
then
work.
at that point, I think if you really want to go crazy, then I think the better would be that those organizations will rent the GPU on cloud and host their model over there. That would be a better approach. Your H100s or A100s, go nuts with those, hire 4 of them, which will cost you what, $3,000-ish per month per GPU as a rent. So if you hire 4 of them, what's $12,000 for U.S. government a month?
Not even worth the paperwork.
Exactly, right? But then that department could have 4 GPUs running, and that will serve them pretty well. So that, again, depends on how you look at the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you can run Kimi on it then.
Are there companies out there making dedicated AI hardware?
Which one?
Like
NVIDIA.
Can you buy a box that's intended to run?
Yes, sir.
local?
Yes, GPUs
Yeah.
are now rentable, just like your VPSs that you used to. You can.
All right.
And that's why
Yeah, I
I
know
gave
about
you the number
NVIDIA.
as well,
I heard about
3,000-ish. I recently calculated They are keeping around $4 an hour or $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Those in that range.
That's all on Linode.
Oh, no, not even, yeah.
They run too.
Yeah.
Yeah, DigitalOcean,
Every company has now
Hetzner.
started to do this now.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, there's CPUs that are just
Cloudflare.
computers that are being made for this, and then NVIDIA is coming out with new chips that
Right.
are like on devices like the future, but expensive.
You can do Cloudflare as
Dell's
well.
got-
On Cloudflare, you can run your models,
But they're expensive.
and you can, it tells you like what is your token per second, like
Okay.
sometimes 30 tokens per second, 44 tokens per second. So like there are companies like that which are now starting to do it. You can easily find them on what's that? Hugging Face.
Okay.
On Hugging Face,
Yeah.
it'll give you a comparison as well, like which one is cheaper, which one is expensive, that
Cool.
kind of stuff,
Okay.
and the performance. So quite a bit.
So are you doing like a dedicated machine for this, or you're using it? The machine's also the same machine you're working on at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just using it on my like everyday laptop, and then I'm doing the hosting on a separate Linux machine. Partly because the networking is just easier on
Yeah.
Linux. It's like
Yeah.
you don't have to do the whole Mac thing, but I've thought about getting a dedicated machine and sort of having that in a zone of where it can really go crazy with some stuff and not give it like all the info, like maybe it doesn't have my social security number or
You'll be surprised.
right it's out there. So I've talked to people that do that and just basically run automations and then like check in on it twice a day, and then that's just sort of their workflow. So I haven't actually done that, but yeah, it sounds cool.
It does.
It's the dream.
I mean, I'm really hopeful that as more open source models are getting lighter as well, and then again the optimization is happening, we will come to a state where some of these models can be run locally, and you could do basic stuff with it, but then I think the good results that you're always looking for, those will be in your subscriptions.
Right.
Yeah.
For
The cost
yeah.
of tokens with Cloud is just going to go up, because aren't they subsidizing cost
But
right
no-
now, right?
But I think
Right.
yes, we are thinking that way, but I think, in fact, there was recently a news where Google is working on the optimization. So the fact that these guys are taking time and keeping that sweet spot, I think this is the number that they want to keep, and not increase the price, but rather they are buying that time to optimize their software so that the cost goes down already. So I think Google, right now the number is like every subscription is like $2,000 per month to them. Like a $200 subscription that you have from Cloud is actually costing Anthropic $2,000 a month.
That's a great business model.
Now, Google has managed to optimize, do some things, and which kind of brought it down to 400. But the output is not that great. So but that token number, that cost has come down. At least it's 50%
Yeah.
and not 10x, right?
That's because Gemini drops your thing every other time.
Yeah. So it's a pretty, I think that's the buying time that they are using to optimize their software so that it can run efficiently on the current hardware. Or they will improve the hardware so much that that won't matter. Hopefully NVIDIA is listening, I guess.
You hear that?
And yeah, we'll just keep buying each other and refinancing. We'll just keep it going.
It's like a credit card.
Yeah. There was a model. It's called Liquid, LFM 2.5. That was like so they are making models that are tuned or a lot lighter for, because I was trying to do LM Studio on here.
Yeah.
And then so that's I think that, but it's about what the task is.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of like the consumer stuff where you just go on and you're like, you know, what should I have for dinner? Like that's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
In the recent test, I'm trying to do is make sure that I can have the image generation done using Lemonade. Lemonade is an AMD software which you can download, and then it downloads those image generations of models. So I'm trying to just experiment with it, just to see what exactly it's like, so that I can come and talk about it, you know, on conferences.
We could do a co-presentation.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Now we're at 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I've got the ticking. Do I have the ticking
I
thing?
don't know, but you have,
Okay.
we have to end in 5 minutes.
Okay, so I did do the mailing list thing, but it went to my spam. But I did get it.
Oh really?
So it was up. It was up. It just
So I need to work on my deliverability.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's easy.
And it was not Google,
SPF
it was
and all
mail.com
the
that I
few things
used.
that you
So it
do.
wasn't
Yeah.
Google wasn't doing it.
Okay, yeah, because I've been using Postmark, which is supposed to have the primo deliverability, but
You still gotta attend that.
I think you need to set up your SPFs and all those kind of things.
yeah, I did.
You
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
and still it managed.
I'm gonna blame it on
Because
him.
Postmark is good.
Did anyone else try it?
Is it a Gmail account? What's your account?
It was mail.com, so it wasn't Gmail.
See, that's questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much harder to get it to be delivered in Yahoo than it is Gmail.
Well, if anybody gets it to work on Gmail, They-
You can
Yeah, put it on track. Put it
you
on
Yeah.
can look at the header, he can send you the headers of it off the spam, you can look at it and inspect it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, if you look at it, you'll probably look at it on your computer. Because you
Let's
want
do
to see
it.
the whole message. You might be able to do it on your
I mean, yeah, I tried to dial that stuff
Oh,
in
man.
and get the
It's not Bitly thing, right?
mm,
what?
Somehow Bitly is not working.
What?
From-
Oh no, it's dub.co is what I used for the QR.
yeah, it's opening. Oh, wow, that's pretty fast.
It works.
So, no, I need to try it.
right. But then there's
I'm
a
waiting for an email.
It'll
Yeah.
email you.
yeah.
I don't. Maybe it couldn't handle everybody hitting it at the same time.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I mean, unless you were the only one.
It's good for
Oh,
the
yeah,
email
very
list.
good. You're in my inbox.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Woo!
Gmail works.
Oh, there we go. 3 more.
DKIM for the win. I'm just gonna leave this slide up here.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Whole thing
A
works.
typical team. Is that a typical team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
landed in my inbox.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I guess it's just me.
I'm glad I called you out.
Yeah.
And now somehow this market is not opening. Okay, it has to be my block ads thing.
Okay. Yeah. Once I lost a job because the general manager was using IE5, and he was like, "Why is this website so messed up?"
That might be a good job.
Oh, wow.
I got in too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It works on mine.
Alright.
All right, we're gonna call it there. I do have a Fox One subscription, so I can put up the game. No, we're gonna go downstairs and watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bye. See ya.